Hey YouTubers, I'm coming to you today with another book review on You Call Yourself a Man by Carl Weber. I've already turned the book back in, so I don't have the book to show you guys, but it's about three best friends, James, Brent, and Sonny. A little bit about James. He's been married for the last 7 years. Him and his wife his wife Kathy. Him and his wife separated for a little while, but they're now back together and reconciling, whatever. James, he drives UPS trucks, and the lady, they both had affairs during their separation. Yeah, both of them. The lady he had an affair with when he was on his UPS route. And the lady, Michelle, she got pregnant, and she had a 3-year-old son for him. And so, she was like, this is your son, Marcus, or whatever, you need to take care of him. And she started threatening James to tell him, if you don't come by when I call you and stuff, I'm going to go drop Marcus off at Kathy's house so she can know everything that's going on. So he getting up in the middle of the night making excuses to Kathy so he can go babysit Marcus while she go out and still party like she ain't had no child. She just making his life miserable, and it's tiring, and he running out of excuses. So she slipped up, and one day, I don't know what happened, she wanted to be back with her ex. So she just used James for whatever, and she wanted to be back with her ex. So she dropped Marcus off unannounced at Kathy's house. Kathy find out, and she kicked James and Marcus out. So James go and lives with his mom for a little while. And it's not until his other 2 boys that he has with Kathy, start acting up at school, that Kathy thinks about what she did, and she lets him move back in so, the other 2 boys can stop acting a fool. And James did get he secretly went and got a paternity test, and Marcus was his, so, Michelle didn't lie. And Michelle, after she dropped Marcus off, she didn't even come back to get him. She really abandoned Marcus and went and got back with her ex, like for real. I guess she was like, I don't want to be a mama no more. I want my man. I got my man back. I'm done. So, James has got all 3 of his boys with him now, and with Kathy, and everything's doing well. And everything's going well until he has to help his friend Sonny. A little bit about Brent. Brent, he's the ladies' man in the group, fine, good looking, all the ladies dropping numbers, all that usual stuff. Him and his fiance, Allison, they're engaged to be married or whatever. And both Christians, they fight hard against lust and temptation. All the while, Jackie, the church organist, is trying to tempt Brent. There's always somebody. And him and Allison do get married, and Brent's temptation gets the best of him, and he does have an affair with Jackie. And Jackie is married as well. Now, in the beginning of the story, Jackie comes across as a lady, but Carl Weber threw a twist in there. And later down the road, he really tells us that Jackie is indeed a man. Yes, a man. Yeah. And by that time, Allison is pregnant, and she walks in on Jackie and Brent. She just go fool. So Brent explains to her that, yeah, I'm really gay. I've been hiding it since my youth. But, Jackie made me realize I can't hide who I am. Now, Jackie, he's a church organist, and he's married. He got a wife. So he's living a secret life as well, So Brent lets Allison know he's gay, but he'll be there for their child. So later on, a meetup with Sonny's wife, Jessica, leaves Brent confused, and he gets attacked, and he's sent to the hospital. When he gets out, he's in a wheelchair, and he's paralyzed from the waist down. During that time, their son that he had with Allison, BJ, is born, and everything's well with the baby. So Allison supports the household with 2 jobs since Brent can't work, he's paralyzed. So he finds out later that Sonny wasn't the one that attacked him, but a man named Bubba Smith that Allison paid for. Whatever. So instead of investigating it, he doesn't confront Allison. At the end of the day, he realizes that with all that happened to him, he just wants unconditional care and love for his family. So he decides, I'm still gay, but you know, it already about cost me, so I'm just going to, you know, stay with Allison, even though I'm not attracted to her like that. But I'm going to stay with her because of the son. You know, he wanted his son to have, you know, a dad that's around. And Jackie, once Jackie found out he was hurt and paralyzed from the leg down, Jackie stopped messing with him anyway. Jackie found out, went to the hospital, heard that news, and he went back to his wife and living like he did nothing. So he had to worry for Jackie no more. Sony. I'm looking to see how much time I have. I've recorded this video 3 times. The first time it was too long. Second time my battery died. And 3, this is my 3rd time. I'm not recording this again. Anyway, there's a lot of talking. Sonny is married to Jessica, like I said, and they have kids. And he moved back to New York to get a better job and a better house. And when he finds that, he's going to move the family to New York with him, you know, change locations. So at an event, he runs into his high school sweetheart, Tiffany. They keep in touch, and as soon as he finds a place to stay, he gets packages in the mail and a letter from Jessica who states she's in love and she's leaving him. He's upset, so he gets Tiffany. He gets with Tiffany. Tiffany becomes his rebound girl. When Tiffany starts to battle her ex-husband, Kareem, Sonny convinces her to move in with him. Sonny manipulates Tiffany, getting her to do what he wants. He believes that there should be rules in a relationship, and that women are like children, needing structure and discipline. Yeah, Kareem was abusive, and he's secretly abusive, but Tiffany hasn't found that out yet. He's basically very controlling. He even goes and kills Kareem. Tiffany done had kids with Kareem. He even goes and kills Kareem just so he can have her to himself. Yeah, Sonny is like secretly crazy. His friends don't even notice about him. He living a different life. He tell them one thing, but really it's another. When he confesses it to Tiffany, he locks her in the basement, as he did Jessica. He used to hit Jessica and abuse her and lock her in the house for days and all that kind of foolishness you see on Maury. So that was the real reason she left him, which Brent found out that day he had met her. Jessica sends word for Brent and James to save Tiffany, because, you know, she's like, this happened to me. That's really why I left him, you know, I lied and said that I was in love, but I wasn't in love. She's like, I had to get away from him. She's like, I just had to make up some excuse to save myself and my kids. And so he, you know, a woman that I've been through that, she gonna send word to the next woman, like, get yourself out of there. You know, that man is fool. And since Brent is hospitalized, he makes James do it. And James rescues Tiffany. He's able to save her, but not before having to kill Sonny to save Tiffany's life. Lord have mercy. So he had to kill his own best friend, a wacko best friend, by the time he found that out and got there, and he got her at gunpoint and stuff to save Tiffany's life. So afterwards, James goes to therapy, you know, to recuperate his life and what he did and all that recovery stuff. So yeah, things can be deceiving. Grass ain't green on the other side. Things are not always as they seem, you know. You learn this story, you gotta keep your eyes open, you know, still investigate, you know. Don't fall in love so fast and start ignoring the signs. Because people can present different personalities to you all the time. Yeah, so you call yourself a man. You know, all that drama, yeah, it deserved that title. Oh, man. So that's the book review by Carl Weber. You know, if you read it, you know, leave a comment below. Talk to you guys later.